What's going on, everybody? This is my 77 B100 Wheel Horse tractor, 8-speed. The drought we had last year didn't help. Yeah, it was great for not having to mow grass, but this thing sat way too long. It sat 3/4 of the summer and then all winter. So I don't plow snow with it anymore because I bought the KFI plow for the four-wheeler. So I took the carburetor apart, cleaned it, put it back on, and it still wouldn't run right. It would only run about 3/4 to 7/8 choke. Wouldn't run at all with it off choke. So I did some research, different people talking about stuff, and Kustom Lawn and Garden out of Minerva, Ohio, which is only, I think, Google Maps said it was 1 hour and 22 minutes. They do have business hours listed on their website. However, it's an older fella. He's been having a lot of doctor's appointments and everything. I didn't know that. I didn't call before I went. I showed up at 8 a.m. one morning, and I sat there maybe 20 minutes. And he pulled in, and I asked him if he had a carb for a 10 horse with the old style choke. He said no, he didn't have anything ready. It'd take him a few hours, but he had a doctor's appointment at 11, and he wouldn't be able to get to it until he got done with that. So I said, well, I'm almost 1.5 hours away. I said, I can find something to do. So I went and screwed around for a couple hours, and he called me at 1 or like 1:12 or something like that p.m. and told me it was done. So I was like 12 miles away. I drove back and picked it up and brought it home, put it on, and today was the first day that I actually cut grass with it. I did replace the fuel line all the way from the tank, from the carb all the way up to the tank. I put a fuel shutoff in it, and because when I put the carb on, I had a leak right there where it's wet, and he said that he didn't think it was the carburetor, but I just got done mowing. I shut it off for about maybe 5-6 minutes, went up the house, got the phone, and the top of that is wet. So yeah, it does have a leak. I'm guessing it's the threads where it screws into the side of the carb. I had to move it a little bit because it was facing the wrong way. The hose would have been into the air cleaner, so I did have to tighten it up a bit. But with the shutoff, I'm not too concerned about it. I can just kill the fuel so it doesn't leak while it's sitting here. So it hasn't run this good in a couple years. So he's an older fella. He's probably not going to do it much longer, maybe a year or two. So if you're needing one, yeah, it's a Chinese casting. Nobody's making them in the States, which sucks. I'd give a couple $100 for one that was made here. But, I give them $100 cash for it. And the cheap ones that you buy online are like $18. But I talked to him a good bit, and he told me that no matter what you do to them, you can't hardly get them to run right. None of the orifices inside of them are the right size. The angles on the needle and seat and the main jet are way off. So he said they're just not right. He told me that he has these bodies machined to his specs and shipped to him. So after he's gone and not doing this anymore, I don't know what to tell everybody for a replacement. Good luck with the cheap eBay shit. So that's my review of this. I would recommend, if he does anything from stock carburetors, which is what this is, to full on pulling carbs, which is what he's known for. So I asked him what's the difference. He said the pulling carb would eat about twice the amount of fuel that this one does. And he said I'd only need about maybe half to 3/4 throttle to mow the yard. But he would recommend against it because it does carbon up the chamber, the valves, the rings, everything else, if it's not being able to burn everything that's introduced to the cylinder. So I had him, he did this one stock for me, which I'm happy with, other than the fuel leak, but it is what it is. I can bitch about it, or I can replace it with Chinese garbage that's not going to be right at all. So that's my review of this thing. He's online, he's on eBay. He's got a cell phone number listed and a landline. So if you need to get a hold of him, call him. If you're close to him, call him. Make sure he's got something set up and in stock, ready to go, and so you don't have to screw around for a couple hours like I did. Catch you later. Bye.